So let's go ahead and pick up Michael. Michael, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great, Owin. How are you?
Oh, I'm very happy that you're actually on the line. It seems like we're dropping as many calls as we're getting for some unknown reason. But Michael is with the Next Adventure Kayak Fishing team. Mike, you were actually out guiding yesterday on the Willamette, weren't you?
I sure was. Actually, I've been out pretty much all week.
And how have things been going?
Things have been, things have really slowed up salmon-wise. Picked up a steelhead Wednesday night, and then just a lot of sturgeon and some bass yesterday.
Very cool. Now, real quickly, before we start talking about your upcoming seminar over at Fisherman's Marine, which I believe is not this upcoming Wednesday, but the Wednesday following, how many times do you actually get a chance to get out there and take folks out in these kayaks? Are they in their own individual kayak, or are you setting them up with a kayak to get out there with you? How does that actually work?
You know, it's interesting. There's a number of ways that we can do it. A lot of the people that I take out, or the customers that I'm dealing with, don't have kayaks, and they're just interested in giving it a shot, trying it from a kayak. But then again, I'm also taking people that may already own kayaks and are having trouble targeting a specific species. So we'll go out and use their equipment and just kind of work together on that species.
I see. So you're definitely becoming a little bit busier and busier, aren't you?
You know what? It's interesting. It's really catching on.
Well, and I think it makes perfect sense. It's a great way, especially being in the Portland metro area, for crying out loud. We have a river that runs right through the city with some of the best fish in the world, literally, and having the ability to get out there quickly and inexpensively, it makes perfect sense. These kayaks are very fishable. I don't have a lot of experience with them, but last year, as you remember, I'm assuming that Cody and myself had a chance to get out there with you. They're very, very fishy. Now, you actually have a seminar that's coming up that's also going to tie right in to fishing out of these kayaks over at Fisherman's Marine. What is the date that you're actually having that seminar?
The seminar is going to be June 6th. It's at 6:30 to 8 at the Oregon City store. And, talking to Robert, we decided the first seminar that we would do would be basically a kayak fishing 101, just kind of helping people just kind of wrap their arms around what the whole entire thing's about, how easy it is. Basically cover safety, make models. I'm going to have a fully rigged kayak there with the fish, the sonar and all the bells and whistles on it. So you can get an idea of how you can trick these things out. We're going to go through everything, targeting what species we can get to, all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a great opportunity for people that are maybe, kind of interested and kind of want to see what it's about, just to kind of come here and look at them.
Interesting. Well, I can tell you this, folks, if you're on the fence at all, if you're thinking about getting out on the water, if you're bank bound and you want to try a way to get out there on the water without having to drop $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on a sled or just another type of fishing boat, this is something that you really need to look into. Without a doubt, for myself, I wouldn't even consider doing it without that Hobie Mirage Drive kayak. For me, that's first and foremost. If I were to get into that type of fishery, is that something that you would also concur with, or fishing with kayaks that are just paddle bound, something that's also very functional?
Well, here's what the Hobie allows you to do. Because it has that Mirage Drive, which you pedal with your feet, you have a little rudder control on your left arm right inside of the cockpit right there. So it allows you to have your hands free to fish the entire time. I mean, you can literally hold the rod in your right hand the entire time you're fishing, which is helps a lot. I mean, the people that have to paddle, they have to, it's paddle, grab the rod. It's one extra step that this removes having that Mirage Drive. So it's just absolutely amazing technology, and it really helps the fish from a kayak. Yeah,
well, I found it to be very user-friendly. I was able to kick around all day. We covered all kinds of ground. Probably more ground than you would need to cover if you're out trolling around for salmon down in the city or whatever it might be. But Mike, I can tell you this. I know that there's a lot of folks that are out there. We've been receiving emails repeatedly about this type of fishing. So I would assume you're probably going to end up with a big crowd of folks over there at Fisherman's Marine. So we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick break. We're going to come back, continue to talk with Michael. We actually have a live report from the Columbia that we might fit in there real quickly before we get back to Michael. But this is something to folks, again, that if you're curious about it, not certain if it would be something for you. And this is definitely for all ages. This isn't something for the young or the folks that have experience with fishing already. This is something that you could get into from scratch. And it doesn't matter what your age is, because you can take these kayaks to a number of different places to use them, not just for fishing. If you're a duck hunter like myself, the advantages that I can see with these particular kayaks, I wish that I had one just for duck season, it would be tremendous. But trout fishing, just getting out with the family, running around on the lake or whatever it might be, there's something here that you really need to pay attention to. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk to Michael about it. Of course, folks, you're only see us here on Comcast Sportsnet. We'll be right back. These folks get a chance to go over and see you, meet you for the first time at Fisherman's Marine in Oregon City when you have your seminar. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, I don't know this. Do they actually sell that kayak there at Fisherman's, or is the best place for them to buy it going to be at Next Adventure?
That's a good point. Yeah, Fisherman does not sell the Hobie brand of kayak. Those are sold exclusively here in Portland at Next Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll cover where you can get them, and numerous things, targeting species, all kinds of stuff. So
now give me a quick idea. If there's somebody at home that's watching and they're on the fence, they're trying to decide if this is something that they would want to consider, can you give everybody a rough estimate? Because obviously costs for everything can change quickly. But can you give everybody just a rough idea of what it would cost to get into this sport, fishing with one of those Hobie kayaks? Because obviously, if they're wanting to buy a boat, even something similar to mine, you're looking at $40,000 to $60,000 minimum. That's going to be what it's going to cost to get into it. If they're looking at buying a kayak and buying the gear to get into it, what kind of price range can somebody be estimating that they're going to be running into?
The majority of the kayaks that I use and we use for fishing, there's three main sizes and styles that we use for fishing, and those run around $1,800. So, on top of that, you're looking annual fee of a $7 invasive species permit.
Sure.
That's my out-of-pocket expense for life for the kayak. So it's definitely, if there's somebody that can't afford a boat, that wants the ease and convenience of being able to come and go from parks and different places, this is definitely something to consider. And we'll discuss all that at the seminar. So.
And let me tell you this, folks, there's a lot of really cool ways to rig these boats up. Getting a chance to fish with Mike last year, their boats were rigged as well as my sled was. I mean, they had the same sort of technology in those boats that I use daily when I'm out there in my boat. But Mike, thank you very much for coming on and talking with us. Hopefully we enlighten a few folks out there, and hopefully we can get a few folks extra out there to your seminar. Again, it's going to be at Fisherman's Marine on the 6th or the 8th?
The 6th.
The 6th out at the Oregon City Fisherman's Marine. You can find that information online as well, or give the folks over at Fisherman's Marine a call. Mike, thank you very much, buddy, for coming on and talking with us.
Thank you so much, Owen. Have a good day.
You too, man. Good luck to you, man. Definitely something to consider. Just think about it. If you're on the fence, it's well worth going over and talking to the guys. Folks, we're going to cut to a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.